Hello, this is Water Elemental, and today I'm playing Risk of Rain 2. This is a game that I have an interesting relationship with. I really did not like the first Risk of Rain, and when Risk of Rain 2 first originally came out, I was not a big fan of, because I just didn't have such a good experience with the first game. But I stumbled upon a copy of this for the PS4 at for $5 at a Five Below, and decided to give it a go and fell in love with this game. Now, obviously I'm not playing on my PS5. I wanted to play this on a mouse and keyboard setup because I find it more enjoyable for a shooter like this without aim assist. So I'm re-unlocking everything I unlocked on my PlayStation, plus got the DLC content. And I've been just kind of grinding at it for the past couple of days, and I was like, why not just record a couple of runs, talk, and just chill? So that's what we're doing here. I've been really enjoying playing the Bandit with the Blast charge right now. So yeah, I'm not good at this game. Let me preface this. I like playing this game. I find it is very addictive. The single-player loop is very good if I just need to play something and just, just enjoy it. But it's brain dead enough that I can listen to a podcast and enjoy just kind of catching up on reading, reading as in audiobooks. And it's a good Zen game. It's not a lot of heavy-duty gameplay that I've been playing with a lot of other stuff right now in my repertoire, and I just have a good time with it. So I'm taking you along for a ride. If you've never played Risk of Rain before, it is I want to say an arena-based shooter with it has pre-generated maps, but the goal is to move from location to location by activating teleporters and defeating a boss and then moving to the next stage as you progress. And then you find randomly generated chests that cost money to open that you get from using enemies. And as the game progresses, the game gets harder. So there's kind of a balance between, do I stay on a level too long, or do I keep going ahead so that later stages are easier? So there's a lot of great stuff. I've not had a chance to play this multiplayer. I don't have any friends that currently own the game that want to play, but I bet this game is a blast with friends. And the character I'm currently playing is got a shotgun, but in this case it's more like a blunderbuss. He has 4 shots that he can lay out dealing damage. He has a dagger that deals increased damage. He can stealth, then pop back out and deal increased damage as well. And then he has my favorite ability he has his revolver, which I whiff entirely. But if I kill a target with a revolver, I'm just poorly explaining this. It refreshes, and then you can kind of keep chain shotting it. I just picked up a ultimate ability, or I think it's an equipment they call it, and that lets me have a special effect. I'll show it off here. So my goal right now is to just move from kind of section of the map to section of the map, collecting ammo and opening chests to get modifiers that will give me things like this one gives me a rechargeable shield, and trying to increase the strength of my character so I can take on the boss and move on to the next zone, so I don't die horribly. I don't know too much about the DLC and kind of mechanics on it. I've encountered its corruption zones. I'm not sure what they're called, but it's very difficult, and I might have to turn them off in future runs as I'm trying to unlock different DLC stuff. Or not DLC stuff, but like unlock characters, because there's certain characters I need to get back that I want to play but took forever on PC, and so unlocking them again is not going to be fun. But just kind of mentioned in the last video when I was playing, what was the last video? Wrath Unleashed. Just talking about what I've been up to, and it's a little bit easier to do that than trying to do a strategy game / fighter. Just kind of chill. Still haven't done the full update video about where I've been and where things are going, but kind of in short, what happened last year was I hit, not content burnout per se, I hit the point where I wasn't happy with how I was currently making content. And you can kind of tell from the Backpack Hero, I was enjoying making the videos what I could, but I just... fighting the algorithm on YouTube is not a uncommon thing a lot of people have been talking about in the realm of content creation. And being a small YouTuber who built their audience on one specific type of content for so long, built on long-form content on a specific game, it really made it hard to branch out into new content. And I would say I'm a great editor. Well, I would say I'm a okay editor when it comes to content, but carrying content of a certain type isn't my strong suit. And so I wanted to branch out and find what I would do right, and that required a lot of experimentation, and that formed the Lost Forge channel to look into just what kind of stuff I could do with board games and how I could fight the algorithm for spastic gaming. That was... I love Lost Forge, but the problem was Lost Forge was created right before COVID, and a lot of the stuff I wanted to do involved in-game board gaming content, Dungeons & Dragons. And the problem... Man, there's a lot of equipment caches here. I don't think I want to open them all up. Just go to pause. So, I made the content, and then the channel kind of went dead on its own because what I originally created it for couldn't happen due to, the Rona, and then also me moving across country. Then, after that hit, I started doing box openings, and that's kind of expensive, and if you're not making any money or hitting... I was getting okay views, but what I was opening I wasn't happy with, and it kind of fell past the point of what I was comfortable covering due to a lot of different reasons, both like with what my personal career is working on, how that touches, and all that stuff. So I backed off a bit on the content that I was working on alongside, just trying to find a way on that. And then I also wanted to do Cooking with Cantor, which has a couple episodes here. And the other problem with that is, it is very... I've done a lot of practice shoots on it, but I wasn't happy with how I was recording it, the equipment I was using, and I was trying to find new ways to accomplish that. And there's nothing wrong with how I handled the situation or handled... oh my god. I'm getting loud here. Oh no! I really did like the videos I put out, especially the World of Warcraft stuff. And I've been continuing to collect video game related cookbooks. I still find them very funny. I just need to find recipes that sit well, that would make good content, as well as enjoyable. I don't want to seek out things I'm going to eat, and I want to find the kind of food that I would be interested in eating myself, so I can give a good, balance. The problem is I wouldn't say I'm a picky eater, but I'm very particular on fish, eggs, and some other ingredients, mushrooms in particular. And a lot of recipes kind of revolve around that because they're easy to kind of theme around video games, which kind of, it doesn't match well. But I've been finding things within certain each recipe books. I've found stuff that I'm interested in. I think I'm leaning a lot towards pastries right now because I do enjoy pastries. I like baking. I think out of the stuff that I've worked on, I find that the most fascinating. And so I'm kind of finding recipes that fit alongside that. I may try to do entree dishes or try to build a meal based on the different, like, you got a side, a drink, and an entree, as well as a dessert. But that is a lot of food to be making for just myself and my wife to record with. So trying to find that balance has been difficult. But it is still a hobby project I want to work with. It is still always in the back of my mind. I think my friends online are tired of hearing Cooking with Cantor, and I will eventually get it. While trying to be supportive, they're like, yeah, like, when are you going to do that? I'm currently on summer break right now, so the hope is, during summer break, I could get another kind of, like, version 2 recording for... I got, like, lav mics to go with my recording software. I just need to set up my laptop I'll be recording audio on to work for that. So the plan is to move forward. Just gotta get the house cleaned up because we've been cleaning and kind of not renovating, but kind of making the space more fitting for what's going on around the house. Now that we've post-moved and kind of not happy with how we laid things out after we've been in this house for a couple of years, and just finding ways to improve. And so now, speaking about life stuff and some not so great news, those who've been following the channel for a while know about my oldest cat, Toph. She was the black and white cat I adopted very early on in Spastic Gaming's career. She definitely made her voice known with a lot of screaming, a lot of editing out and such, but we unfortunately lost her a couple months back, and that's hard. It has been very hard to lose a pet that I kind of associate with my content making career, because when I started doing stuff with Kiefer long ago on this channel, we moved into my apartment with my brother, and we did a lot of content for a long time, and that's when I adopted Tom. So for as long as I've had Spastic Gaming, she's kind of been with me, and it's hard, very hard. Not gonna lie, losing her has been a roller coaster of emotions, to say the least. But we are handling. Just wanted to bring that up for those following around. If you don't hear the screams, those are that is why. In the positive sense, I've finally gotten used to being out here in North Carolina and finding things to do. I've been really getting back to Magic. There's been a local card shop that I've been going to with some friends to play Commander. I've been building some new decks. I've been being pushed a bit into CEDH, which I don't know if I want to invest in fully, but there's some decks I could borrow. I've been playing the McKinnon deck, if you know about that, in CEDH. And just kind of building some decks of my own that I find interesting. I built Cleric Tribal, which has been oddly good, considering it was supposed to be a meme deck. A lot of the decks I build are just fun pet cards that I want to play around with from the history of Magic, more so than anything else. So I've been playing that, been playing my Riku of the Two Reflections deck that has been kind of in my staple deck for a long time. And then I've been playing Sam and Frodo Food, because unfortunately the best commanders to play Food is Worlds Beyond deck, or Universes Beyond, not Worlds Beyond. So that's what I've been playing. I also picked up a couple of precons recently, the Termagoyf deck. I have the Warhammer Necron deck, which I really like Necrons as a faction in Warhammer, so it's a match made in heaven on that front. I wish we'd get a Dark Eldar, but I think they'll be hated in the Warhammer universe, so we won't see them in any product. I don't think we got an Eldar deck at all. I think Space Elves would have been really, really cool to have in some form. I think the Orcs got a secret layer, but they didn't get anything like in terms of decks. So I think we got two Space Marine decks, Necrons, Tyranids, or no, it was Space Marine, Chaos, Tyranids, and Necrons. So it was four decks. And then I picked up some of the Doctor Who and Fallout decks. So as much as I talk about hating Universes Beyond, I'm the demographic that buys a lot of that shit. Yeah. Hypocrisy! What else I've been up to. Really got into 3D printing. I wanted to use that to build off my D&D content for... The original plan was, back when we were doing the D&D podcast, recording with a lot of my old co-workers and stuff, I wanted to get 3D printed minis for everybody, print stuff, and build out the content for that. But the unfortunate stuff was COVID, so that really didn't help. But when I moved out here, I needed some new hobbies, kind of keep myself sane. And I got into 3D printing, and at first I just was making knickknacks, but I'm in the phase where I want to build more useful stuff and stuff that I'm going to actually do something with. So I've been doing minis and painting and honing up my filament printer. I wanted to also get into resin printing, but that is just a chemical mess, and that is something that I don't want to deal with for many reasons. So that isn't going to happen. Man, I feel like I'm just getting dry on upgrades here. Speak it into fruition. This one, attack speed, reload, neat. And that's kind of it for stuff I've been working on. I've been painting a little bit. I wanted to do some more like Bob Ross paintings, but I'm just kind of in and out on that. Just kind of exploring the new state that I've been living in. Things that I've done that I haven't really talked too much about since the last time I've really been doing a lot of content. I finally got to check some stuff off my bucket list recently. I got to go to a couple of concerts. Got to go to a couple of live events. Last year was a lot of live events out here in this area that I was really happy to go to. First major thing is I got to go to the LCS Spring Finals here at PNC Arena. And as a longtime League of Legends fan, and in the esports sense, it was great. It was G2 versus... G2 versus Liquid. The event itself was great. I was happy to be there, happy to see a lot of the players. I got to meet a lot of players on TSM. Super sick. Problem is PNC Arena seats were atrocious. As a tall man, I could not sit in them for very long without getting leg cramps. So I missed the Game 5 of rehearsing because it was just so unbearable for me to sit in the seats. But I powered through and got to watch the finals where Liquid won. And just... Or was it Golden Guardians? It was Golden Guardians, not G2. Golden Guardians. Or are they G2? I don't know. But I got to see them play. It was very cool. Had a lot of fun with that. Saw the sweet intro, but we were on the side, so things didn't look right from the mapping projection. But overall, great. It was a good time. Got to check that out. Went to a couple of concerts. I went to a Video Games Live concert, and Tommy Tallarico is still a very fascinating man. If you've never followed that up, look up the history of the Roblox Oof Sound documentary by H Bomber Guy. It is wild. I went into that and I was like, will he show up to this? He did. And he talked a lot about how video games are very creative. The industry isn't as bad as everybody portrays it. You know, we're not, you know, the cause of violence. By immediately following it up with like a 2009 animation where Mario had his head ripped off by Scorpion. And it was just bizarre. And it was just that kind of vibe throughout the whole entire concert. And while the music was fantastic, the orchestra that was backing the event was wonderful. The music selection, I think, hasn't changed much since like 2018, besides a couple of additions. There were some great tracks, though. I got to hear some Mass Effect. We got to hear Legend of Zelda. We got Halo. There was some good stuff. Uncharted. He did a really weird melody for Undertale. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you... One of my favorite tracks from Undertale, even though I'm not the biggest Undertale fan, is I love Megalovania. I love that song. I love the energy. I love how pumped up you get listening to the song. And he came out and just started hammering out on his guitar. And he just at one point just starts going ba 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 ba, but out of sync with the song. It was just, he wrote the song. I think that's just my opinion. It was very strange. Very, very odd overall, but it was a good time. I was happy to go enjoy that and check out another part of town. I also went to Charlotte for the Final Fantasy kind of touring concert. I would think that was a better experience. It was wonderful. I got to hear some of my favorite tracks. They did everything up until Final Fantasy 16, but they didn't do anything from the new game, even though they had the soundtrack available. Very, very wonderful music. I think some of the... There was a part which I feel horrible about. The orchestra at one point missed the opening note, I think, for Prelude, and they stopped, which I respect. They're just like, nope, take it from the top again. And they restarted doing Prelude a second time with all the audio and music and stuff, and it was gorgeous. It was a wonderful experience. I teared up hearing Final Fantasy IX music, Final Fantasy VIII. The Prelude got me. That song is just part of my childhood. And my wife, who doesn't really know much about Final Fantasy, bless her heart. I also teared up when they did the Warcraft thing at the Video Games Live concert, because I heard it immediately and I knew what it was from the albums. And I was like, all right, here we go. So it was just... Music can really... I'm not someone who follows bands, but like soundtracks and memories that come from it can really just kick my teeth emotionally. So, but it was wonderful. So if you get the chance to, I highly recommend. Hate that one. I highly recommend going on the Final Fantasy concert, or if you know about it and are still willing to power through Tommy Tallarico's personality. Video Games Live concerts are also a joy in their own way. So that's just things I've been talking about doing, working on projects, enjoying. I don't want to say like enjoying. Well, yes, okay. Enjoying experiences, going to see new things, doing new stuff. 1 second, I got that. Sorry about that. Just had to tell the spam callers not to call me for the 14th time this week. Man, they are... What is this thing? I want this thing. I might just start farming for this. 1650. Please leave. Oh, I did shave and haircut accidentally. Shave and haircut for me. One of those life machines. Maybe that'll give me enough. Another quote-unquote hobby, but I talked about this in the update video. The last video I put up was I've been kind of buying up a lot of PlayStation 2 content, just kind of go back and play it. And the reason for this is just I've been wanting to play a lot of older games that just haven't had re-releases, remasters, remakes, or just I think are unpopular and won't see the light of day again. And PlayStation 2 really had a lot of stuff that I enjoyed. Omnimusha, Omnimusha 1 got a remaster, but that's like the only one I think. Capcom just wants to remake all of the Resident Evil games again. They don't care about Dino Crisis or anything like that. So, Omnimusha, there's been games like Wrath Unleashed, just stuff that stayed in that generation that hasn't really come back in one form or another. And I started by just buying up a couple of games that I liked, and then I started going to Goodwills and other auction sites to just see what games I could find, and I started finding rare games, and I kind of got addicted to The thrill of the hunt. Oh, fuck. We're, what, 25 minutes in? Yeah, we'll call it on that. But finishing off my story is I got really into buying rare games online and the thrill of the hunt. So now I probably have like way more games than I'm ever gonna play ever that I gotta try to work on. And some of the stuff that I've been buying into is like the Xenogears and the Wild Arms series and just older RPGs that I never really got into because of the scarcity. So I'm trying to get back into those. So I may not do that because the last time I tried to make playing long RPGs content was Legend of Legaia, and let's be honest, that series didn't last long, and I wasn't happy with it. And then I played it continuously afterwards, and I kind of screwed up my whole recording setup. So just been enjoying. I want to play shorter burst games or games that I know have a beginning, middle, and end, and then the content itself will be interesting with my commentary, kind of like these videos. So if you're enjoying this video and the last video, that's what I'm going to be working on for a while, and then sporadically just whatever else I want to do. I'm not sure if Cooking with Camter will become its own YouTube channel, or if I'm going to post it on here and then transfer it once there's a backlog. We'll see. Anyways, thank you very much for watching me play some Risk of Rain horribly, and just talking about things. Let me know if you're watching these. Again, I always ask for that engagement, not because I need the comments. I like having a community. So, you know, if you're out there and if you want to just BS about video games, let me know in the comment section below. And anyways, this has been Water Elemental with Risk of Rain 2, and I will see you guys in whatever I play next. Take care.